When Brianna was released from the hospital of Rutland Regional Medical Center, July 17th, I had a conversation with Brianna. The phone was ripped away from her. She had been violently abused. I reported it to Rutland Police Department, and of course they covered their tracks. So in August, when Brianna was let out of the hospital, she called me. She was put in the hands of her abuser and her accuser, which was Northeast Kingdom Mental Health Services. They didn't allow her to have her car. They didn't give her her key, and they had her car pretty much hijacked. Okay, they took her away from the phone when she was reaching out for help. Every bit of this is on audio record. I shared it previously to YouTube, and I've shared it with the courts here and with Washington, D.C. So now I'm going to tell you all. Again, Brianna was brought by the United States postal worker at a Island Pond, Vermont, who found her all in disarray. She was continuously having emotional breakdowns. She was distraught. She was not healthy at all. Okay, this was right straight from the hospital. Molly Gray, Assistant Attorney General, was there during the time that Brianna was there. Okay. Just making it clear to all of you, this is really what happened. So Brianna had spent the night with a girl named Jennifer Watson upstairs over the laundromat after she was found in the window like a sad puppy dog. Okay, around 10 o'clock at night in the laundromat. Now, how she got there, I don't know. Why she was there, she was confused. No place to go because of the hands of Vermont State Police and all her abusers. Northeast Kingdom Mental Health Services, her attorney, court-appointed Laura Wilson, doesn't do anything to represent this girl. Therefore, she's allowing my daughter to be abused, neglected, and tortured. Brianna was brought over to Maine so that she would be safe. And as a result, they didn't like that. And so they coerced Brianna, being Gordon over after he sexually assaulted her, and Deanna giving her medications that belonged to Deanna, messed my daughter all up. There were claims that Brianna had run across the street for help, but nobody wants to answer to that either. Somerset County Sheriff's Department in Skowhegan, Maine, okay? Maine State Police, all of you involved. So knowing that Waterville Police wouldn't do a well-being check on my daughter, which is a violation of rights, as well as the state of Maine Police, Anna Love from Maine State Police, okay? She was requested. So was the fact that I requested to get an emergency entitlement to have overseer guardianship for my daughter because she had gone missing. My daughter was put on a bus, and so put on a Greyhound bus by Gordon Over and Deanna Crisco from Waterville Kennedy Memorial Drive on September 7th, somewhere between Waterville and Massachusetts. Brianna relayed that a guy in a suit took her from the bus, and he had guns, and put her on a plane, and they sent her to Florida. How, who, and why? She says she doesn't know. She doesn't remember. All she knows is that the guy stepped on her toe. He stepped on her foot when she was getting on the plane. So she was sent down there. She relays that she remembers they put her in a house and she was looking beautiful every day. So they were sex trafficking my daughter. My daughter was found in a Martians Act and noted in September during that time that she was listed missing. And so she was hidden by Volusia County, okay? She ended up in the hospital. Tina Hay from the Hay House Foundation, she's known to run a frivolous halfway house. Her and her husband, Troy, he runs it for the guys, she runs it for the girls, and then they put the guys into a motel, and the guys lure the girls in, they drug them, and then they set them out for prostitution. Well, Brianna wasn't up to that. And apparently she said no. So they beat her, abused her, and she ended up in the hospital and was near pronounced dead in Daytona Beach. She was in the missing persons report for October. I have the case number and docket and conversation with the officer recorded. In November of 2021, the end of November, I believe it was the same day that they posted my house frivolously as condemned and took my livestock up in Maine, that the police state trooper from Derby Barracks called and left a message on a general phone number that's answered by the public. Anybody that wants to use the number is subjected to it. With that being said, he left a message saying for me to call him in regards to my daughter's medical condition. She was in the hospital and medical decisions had to be made. With that being said, that Vermont State Trooper should have never said that to me. But why did my daughter go missing? Why was my daughter in a medical situation? Vermont State Police, Attorney General T.J. Donovan, State's Attorney Prosecuting Attorney Vincent Aluzzi, Rutland Regional Medical Center, Jeffrey Noyce, Kevin Bickford, Yates, Maurice, all of them involved. Northeast Kingdom Mental Health Services, Chris Mitchell, Desiree Leo, Trish, all of them involved. Her attorney that was set, which is the head of mental health attorneys for the state of Vermont, I had a conversation with him. His name was Attorney John something at Montpelier. I spoke with him. He never called me back. So he was very well aware, and that was back in June. Laura Wilson, Brianna's court-appointed pretender, she has denied Brianna her rights this whole time. Brianna should have never had her son taken away from her. She should have never been sexually trafficked. She should have never been abused. She should have never gone through any of bullshit that I'm talking about right now. And therefore, I request a full investigation into the state of Vermont, all the attorneys for T.J. Donovan himself, every single state Vermont police officer involved throughout from 2007 to this very day of March 19, 2022. I want everybody to know I am requesting a full investigation to the state of Vermont, all politicians, all police, the town of Island Pond, administrating staff, the Brighton Elementary School, Michael Knox, who now lives in Friendship Township or some shit like that in New Jersey. Look him up, Dr. Michael Knox. He was found to have beat with a bat a guy, a private investigator that didn't give Michael Knox the information that he wanted on his wife. Okay, and he's taking care of, he's a superintendent of a school in New Jersey. Okay, and not only that, but don't forget, he not only assaulted me, I believe he sexually assaulted my daughter. I know that he assaulted Jeremiah DeSalandis, and I have proof that Amy LeClaire, through witnesses and testimony, as well as signed documents, that Amy LeClaire, who was at the time Amy Basari from Derby Barracks, is still with Derby Barracks, married to the fire chief of Newport, Vermont, who is the one that ruled what? That it was an accidental death and fire at Michael Hatton's slumlord apartment, December 25th, 2021, that claimed the life of a male subject. That needs to be investigated as well. And so with all that being said, I am bringing to light Mark Newell, who cut the coil spring without a doubt on my car and took the A-frame bolt out. I filed protection from abuse and harassment against him as well. He works for the federal corrections, and I have all reason to believe, knowing that he pulled a gun out on me and he sexually assaulted me in the Essex County Sheriff's Department. Jeffrey Noyce's wife, who works as dispatch, she knows, I know, Essex County Sheriff's Department knows, the whole state, and now the whole nation's gonna know. I'm requesting a full investigation into every single one of them. And you remember, I went for a full medical exam for a purpose, to make sure that not one of you can claim that I'm incompetent, or that I'm on drugs, or that I drink alcohol, or that anything other than the fucking truth is being told. I affirm.